Hey everyone, it's Bluebaster86. I've got some brand new baits I want to talk to you about. These are brand new from FishLab. These are all going to be introduced at ICAST this year. These are a mix of hard baits and soft baits, and got a little bit of everything here. Some pretty cool new baits that I think are really going to be popular. We'll start with some of the soft baits here. These are their Nature series. They're pretty unique baits. Some of them, you might be seeing something a little bit like them. Others, I've never seen anything like them before. These first ones here, these are the nymph, the flutter nymph. Kind of look like a dragonfly, damselfly nymph. I think these have got a lot of potential just on a stand-up, like a Ned rig, maybe a slider head, but those are I think a good looking little finesse presentation style bait. And we've got the kick and craw. This is something a little more like what we've seen before. You know, it's a crawdad bait. It's got kind of flapping craws. It also has a skirt up here at the top. So this is something that you could Texas rig. You could fish it on a jig. You could throw it on a Carolina rig. But you could also maybe, if you have a jig head, like a weedless jig head, that doesn't have a skirt, this already has a little bit of a skirt at the top. So maybe you've got some finicky fish that are not biting a standard skirted jig. This might be a good option for you. Just put a regular weedless jig head on here and just fish that plain instead of fishing it on a jig. This is a bait that, if you heard the name and somebody described or just told you what it was without really describing the bait to you, might not sound really exciting. It's the cover bird. That's a bird bait. Sounds kind of weird, but I'm really liking it. It just looks like a bird on the front, but the profile looks like a beaver bait. So, but the thing I'm really liking about this, look how thick these things are. That is a meaty profile on these. And they are dense, extremely dense. Anybody that knows me, especially, you know, like my Ned rig fishing, I like to fish a light bait. I like to fish a lightweight when I can get away with it. I like the slow fall. I do the same thing with my Texas rigs a lot. I use a lot of quarter ounce, 1/8 ounce, even a 1/16 ounce. So I weighed these. The smaller size, which is 3 1/4, I believe. This one is a 1/4 ounce. That's just the plastic. That's before you put any hook in it, put any weight on it. It's a 1/4 ounce plastic. This big one is almost 3/4 of an ounce of plastic. That's just the plastic. So if you want to fish this weightless, which you get pressured fish, like pressured fish around docks especially, take this, put a hook on it, and just fish it. No weight. Skip this back up underneath docks and let this just glide down to them. Those fish that are used to that jig just crashing right past them, this is going to come and fall slow past them. You know, they're going to see them crawdads that get up there and around on the docks, and then they get washed loose by waves and stuff, and then they kind of float down in front of them right there. That's what that's going to look like to them. I think that bait's really going to be a winner. I'm pretty excited about that one. And this next one is the flipping frog. There's a small size and a bigger size. This is also a pretty dense bait. This bigger one was 1/4 ounce. So this is another pretty heavy bait just by itself. They've got really thin profile legs. So I think these legs are going to be full of action. I think you could use these probably a variety of ways. The small one I could see potential just on a standalone jig, almost like a Ned rig bait, honestly. Everybody that watches my channel knows that I like my Ned rig, so I see something small like this, I see potential as a Ned rig. But I think it could be really good as a small jig trailer also. And I think you've got a lot of potential as a standalone bait here. I think it could be good on a Texas rig. You could probably Carolina rig it if you're into that kind of thing. I'm not, but if that's you, roll with it. The hard baits, these are pretty interesting. We'll start with the big one here. This is the Bio Gizzard Shad. It's a big multi-joint, non-lipped. It doesn't say anywhere that I can see whether this floats or sinks, and I have not got a chance to get these wet yet. I just got them yesterday. These hooks are so sharp. They have the size on here, but I'm not sure what brand they are. Them things are stupid sharp. I can't pick them up without them grabbing a hold of me. But this is a 6-inch bait, I believe. Doesn't say on there, but I'm pretty sure that's a 6-inch bait. But you've got 4 segments. The tail is a little bit softer material. It's like an ABS type material. This is PVC coating fin. So it's a pretty tough material. A little bit of flex to it, but it's not something that's going to fall apart on you like a plastic tail. But man, look how natural that just blends into the tail. There's no joint, there's nothing. It just looks like a fish tail. It's blended in so well together. That's pretty amazing. But does have a rattle in it. A lot of these baits like this are silent baits, so you do get a little bit of knock to it. Nice, super sharp treble hooks. That's just a good gizzard shad imitation. I like the 6 to 7 inches, just the perfect size gizzard shad imitation for me. It just seems like the size that our fish eat a lot around here. This is the Tennessee shad color. Tennessee shad's one of my all-time favorite hard bait colors, so they got me right there. This other little shad bait, this is the Bio Cranking Shad. That one just super easy movement. Again, that tail just perfect. Blends right into the body. Looks like a natural fish tail. Great movement. This one doesn't seem to have a rattle. That's a silent bait. This is going to be a little cranked down. Really guessing by that lip it's going to be a wake bait, or really close to it. It isn't going to go very deep. I don't have any diving, like the depth to it. Maybe 2 feet, I'm guessing by that lip if you're fishing a lighter line, but it's going to be pretty close to the top. That one is a little a 4-inch bait, I believe, and that's Sexy Shad. It's a solid color. Anywhere you go and you're fishing a shad color bait, Sexy Shad's not ever going to be a bad choice. So again, another good solid option there for a shad pattern bait. But I think I really want to. I wish I would have had these before my tournament this last weekend, so I could have thrown these at some smallmouth and some of these largemouth, like they were eating those the gizzard shad and the white perch, and I think that I really could have got them to chase that jointed shad swim bait, the ones that are eating that white perch. I don't think I said this one was 2 1/8 ounce. This one is about 3/4 of an ounce, not exact. I just got cheap kitchen scales, so that might not be the exact weight, but it's close to that. So somewhere in there, just to give you an idea, so you don't go and buy one and it's way bigger or way lighter than what you're expecting. This one is the Bio Rat. It's got the 2 back legs, like the plopper style legs. Mean looking little sucker. He's got the growly face. It just looks like he's ready to go out there and get smashed. But That's a good size bait. This is the 7-inch. There's also a 10-inch version, so there's going to be a larger one than this. Tail is, I'm not sure what material it's made out of, but it feels really durable. It's a lot more durable than like the Spro Rat feeling tail is. But it doesn't feel like just a regular plastic worm or anything. It feels like it's something a little more durable than that. But this is just going to be like your topwater plopper style bait, but something a little different. It's got 2 legs instead of 1, so you're going to get a little more surface disruption out of this one. You got the rat profile, you got the tail, you got the ears. You know, whether or not a fish will be able to see that, who knows? Maybe they will, maybe they won't, but you're definitely going to get a little bit different sound, a little bit different profile out of this bait. So those are new baits that will be coming from FishLab here at ICAST. They're a great company. I've got several other baits. I really like their swim baits. Their frogs are awesome. You don't hear much about them, it doesn't seem like, but if you've watched my channel very much, I'm sure you've seen me catch fish on the rattle toad before. So they're really good company that I would suggest checking out. These baits, the great thing about them is they make affordable stuff too. Their swim baits are usually in the teens to mid-20 range, and if you fish swim baits, like seriously, you realize how cheap that is. Because it's really easy to get into the hundreds of dollars on swim baits per bait. So one that's $15, $20 is seriously affordable if you're thinking about trying to get into swim baits or a little bit, or if you just want a little bit bigger bait. You know, you want one you can go out and try to get a kicker fish on. You know, you got one that you can spend $20, $25 on, and you know, at 2 1/8 ounce, you don't need anything super specialized either. So that makes it nice. You don't have to get any of the specialized swim bait gear like the stuff I have. So, but that's it. I just wanted to run through this. These baits, I'm excited to get out and fish them. Hopefully I'll get to test some of them this weekend a little bit, maybe catch some fish with them. You know, keep your eye out in some of my upcoming videos, and maybe you'll see some fish catches on them. I'm expecting some fish catches on them. So yeah, if you have any questions, let me know. If any of these baits interest you and you have any questions about them, feel free to message me, comment on my video, and I'll do my best to answer for them. If you know if you want to know the weight of one of these other baits or the exact length, I can measure them for you. That's not a big deal. So anyways, that's it for this video. So until next time, we'll see you then.